Chiefs Kingdom, welcome back to All Chiefs Up. We're back with another podcast. Before that asked, happy Victory Monday. We're back in the win column, guys. And today we're talking about Jawaan Taylor getting picked on by the NFL and the officiating crews. I'm not saying it. Steve's not saying it. Patrick Mahomes is saying it in front of the world, Jesus, and everybody. Let's talk about it.
Hey, before we get started, I just wanted to say thanks for watching All Chiefed Up. I know there's a lot of Chiefs content out there. We're trying to get to 20,000 subscribers before the end of the season, so hit the sub button if you haven't already. Jawaan Taylor looked like he was getting picked on to me, and the fact that they talked about this before the game.
We're going to have the officials watching him very closely.
Right.
It was literally just a response to a bunch of imbeciles on the internet who didn't know the rules of football last week,
Right.
crying and acting stupid. So guess what? I knew he was going to get called for penalties today before it ever started. So did everyone else.
Right. A bunch of whiny ass, no ball knowing people on
Slap
the internet.
nuts.
A bunch of
Freaking
slap
slap
nuts
nuts.
that don't even know the rules. They didn't even know you're allowed to reset your back foot. And they're going
Slap
to get on
nuts.
here and cause the NFL to cause this debacle. 5 penalties for Jawaan Taylor today, Steve. Kansas City Star reports Chiefs O-line struggles lead to rare NFL feat. This is what they said when they asked Patrick Mahomes in press conference today. He said, through social media, you knew that was some of that stuff was going to get called, says Mahomes after the game. He's going to continue to get better and better. It's hard whenever you get picked on a little bit. It's tough to keep playing your game. I have all the confidence in the world in him, Steve. You know what? I tell you, the NFL has just come after the Chiefs over and over again. Anybody that says we get all the calls, you don't pay any attention. But we got 2 words for you.
Suck it! Suck it! We got 2 words for you! Suck it!
Suck it.
Suck it. I feel like Jawaan Taylor's been in this league for a few years now.
Right.
He's played the game the same way since he came into the league. You see other people playing the same type of style. Lane Johnson, all those guys do it.
Trent Williams, you name it.
Yeah, but guess what? It didn't matter, for the last couple of years when he was playing for Jacksonville. It don't matter that Lane Johnson does it still to this day with the Eagles. It don't matter that Trent Williams does it with the 49ers. It matters when Jawaan Taylor becomes a Chief and everyone hates the Chiefs.
It matters when he puts on a Chiefs jersey all of a sudden.
Yeah, it does. It's
Mike Tirico,
amazing.
Chris Collinsworth. Oh, my God. The world's going to end. Let's all talk about this all night long, all because the Chiefs' offense sucked, and they continued to suck this week. By the way, Travis Kelce was back. We'll talk more about Jawaan Taylor in just a minute, but Travis Kelce was back. Travis Kelce was back, and what did we say, Steve? We said he's going to get in the end zone not once, but twice, and he should have got in twice. He dropped one, Steve, but he did get in once.
I think it was nice to have Kelce back on the field just for the sake of taking some heat off of the receivers. It didn't show much in the first half because we looked like
dog water.
But I think that's because we couldn't establish a running game. Andy Reid refused to run the ball in the first half, and you get what you get. But anyway, Kelce was back. We saw it improve in the second half, and it was nice to see him out there. But, man, was he mad. Kelce's just pissed at something. He just wants to fight everybody this year.
He's
fighting his
angry.
own team. He's fighting his own team in practice, and now he's out there just going off on the Jacksonville Jaguars. What's up with him, bro?
Dude, he's been mad. He was punching people in the head. He was drop kicking people. He was trying to get with Taylor Swift, and now they may be together. They might not. Maybe that's what's causing it. But I do know this. He got in the end zone, so we get a little bit of this.
They call me El Travidor. Boom shakalaka!
We had a little El Travador sighting today, Steve, and that's all that matters. The Chiefs got the dub. We got back in the win column. We seen Kelce back. We seen our boy Christopher Jones, Stone Cold, the best, not
The greatest.
the greatest DT in the game. And by the way, defensive end in the game today. But let's talk about Jawaan Taylor just a little bit more before we get onto the defense. The Chiefs head coach Andy Reid explains replacing Jawaan Taylor midway through the drive. So if you guys remember, they took Jawaan Taylor out because it was picking on Taylor, picking on him. This is what they had to say about it. After many accused Taylor of false starting and lining up too far in the backfield in week 1, the Lions, he was only flagged once, blah, 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 blah. According to CBS, Taylor is the most penalized player in an NFL game since 2000, when San Diego Chargers tackle Marcus McNeil had 6 penalties. This is what Andy had to say. They put in Prince Tega Winogo to come in for just a little bit. Andy said, I told him he just needs to step back. He had some big blocks later in the game there. He did a nice job of finishing. He goes on to say, we're not a big penalty team. You can pause this and you can read it a little bit more. He says that he'll get them closer to the line of scrimmage and all this BS. He's not even that far off the line of scrimmage, by the way. Once they called him for that, Steve, the next passing set, not the next run play, the next passing set, the dude is lined up in the same spot.
Mike, you could see the other team's tackles lining up equally to what Jawaan Taylor lined up to all day long. Pick any NFL game. I dare you. Pick one. If there's one on right now, just look at it. I guarantee. Hey, Mike, would you look at that?
Oh, would you look at this?
That tackle's back too far.
Right.
That tackle's back too far. This tackle's back too far. If you're going by this made-up rule that you think there is, where their helmet has to be at a certain spot, blah, 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 dude, they all do it. They all do it, and they only started calling it today on one specific player because of a bunch of babies crying about it and being slap nuts.
Oh, but it's been a talking point today, and everybody's letting them know. The Athletic comes out and said Chiefs Jawaan Taylor struggles with 5 penalties today. Yahoo throws out Jawaan Taylor draws 5 penalties, briefly benched in the second game after signing an $80 million deal. Okay, look, newsflash. All Chiefed Up was saying maybe $80 million was a bit too much to pay for a right tackle that couldn't run block worth a flip. This dude on a PFF score hasn't even scored over a 50 in run blocking his entire time in the league. We said that. What else did we say, Steve? Left tackle, Donovan Smith? The dude likes to hold a lot. Maybe this isn't the biggest upgrade we thought. Maybe Veach kind of swung and whiffed a little bit.
Don't you say we. Don't you say we.
Don't say we.
We didn't think it was an upgrade. And we got yelled at for it. Everyone got the pitchforks out and came after all Chiefed Up. Because we said, whoa, nay, this might not be a big upgrade. It could be, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. But what we say, Mike, they can't run block. Guess what? They can't freaking run block. It's not rocket science. You just watch it. Look at their grades on PFF at run blocking.
That outside zone scheme
abysmal.
run is atrocious, Steve.
You notice our run game was trash in the first half. First of all, because it was almost non-existent because Andy Reid just flat out refuses to run. The second half, it was only effective because we were running inside.
Right.
Like, if you can get in behind Tooney, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, you're going to be okay. Do not go outside these tackles right now. They've got to learn how to run block. Apparently, they don't know how to do that. We know that OBJ and Andrew Wiley weren't the greatest tackles ever. I'll totally agree with you on that. They could have been much better.
But OBJ,
they weren't great.
In
But they could
comparison
run
to
block.
these tackles.
These guys, under the freaking table.
Yeah, 1,000%. They went more towards like a gap scheme there and got away from the outside zone. Looks so much better. But like you said, in the first half, Andy just wouldn't commit. Andy's all about, we pass to set up the run, which is completely
Andy.
ass backwards of the way most teams do it. Not going to dog Andy, though. The guy keeps winning. I understand it.
He's
but
a legend.
Come on. The run game is going to alleviate some pressure on these horrible wide receivers that we have right now because let me tell you something. They're all mid. Down the board, mid. I haven't seen one of them live up to wide receiver 1 expectations.
Speaking of mid, what about mid VS? What about that guy? 2 catches.
2 catches for 13 yards today. We pay this cat $11 million a year, and he's nothing but a glorified decoy.
Basically, man.
Donovan Smith had 1 less catch than MVS.
They brought him in here to stretch the field. That's literally got to be it, right? They've not depended on him in hardly any game. You can go back to the playoffs last year, and he actually stepped up and done quite well.
Versus the Bengals, he looked good.
If it wasn't for him, we might not have won that AFC Championship game.
So why
but
can't he
MVS
get his
stepped
role
up.
expanded right now?
I don't know. I don't understand it. I want to watch more of it. I want to get inside everyone's head on this one because I can't figure it out, Mike. Is he just not that good? Is he not creating the separation that he should be creating? Is he running bad routes? Does he not know the offense that great? Is him and Mahomes still not on the same page after a year and a half?
What is it?
Like, what the heck is it? And we got to figure it out because why are we paying MVS that much money for 2 catches for 13 years?
I was told that $11 million a year is not that bad for a wide receiver 1. He's not a wide receiver 1. Thanks for the fact check, moron. He's not a wide receiver 1. I wish he was, but he's not a wide receiver 1. We're paying this guy, again, $11 million a year, and they won't get him involved. I said one of 2 things. Either we overpaid a mid receiver or he's being utilized wrong. Which one is it? It can be both, but it can't be neither because it's one of the 2. Somebody's going to have to wake up and explain this one. Wake up.
I find it very telling. I find it very telling that we get MVS to stretch the field, to get open downfield, get the big shots, make the big play.
And then
That's
who
why
are we
went and
throwing
got
to?
him. We're going over here to $2 million Justin Watson, who can't create separation to save his life.
The most
It's so funny.
Justin
Patrick
Watson.
Mahomes will force a ball into triple covered Justin Watson to get it either picked off, batted down, or by the grace of God, sometimes the completion. But he will do that over and over again.
It's constant.
Before he goes to MVS.
Look, they haven't schemed Sky Moore properly just yet. They got closer today. They got a little closer today.
Yeah.
But look, he looked better, but it's because of the way it was schemed. They have not schemed MVS properly. I don't think they've schemed anybody properly. They didn't scheme Mecole Hardman properly, to be honest. It's just, I don't know what's happening. The wide receivers, do we need a new wide receiver coach? What is going on here? Justin Ross, by the way, everybody wanted to see him come out a little bit more today. What did Justin Ross get? He run less routes than Donovan Smith. Donovan Smith wasn't even trying to run a route, bro. Like, I think he was on the field for I think he got 6, 8 snaps last week. I'm going to have to go back and watch all 22. I don't even know if he got that many this week.
I wonder if he ran the same route every play, too, because I noticed today he runs the same route every time he's on the field.
It's a 7-yard comeback or a 5-yard comeback, whichever one. That's all they do. The entire offense, that's all I see. I see Sky Moore doing it. I see Travis Kelce doing it. They're doing it side by side with each other. Do we have any routes in the route tree that get us past 10 yards?
Yeah, this is something that's got to get figured out, and I think it will. Right now, a lot of people's kind of speculating, Mike, is it Matt Nagy taking over the offense? They didn't look this bad under Eric Bieniemy. Nay. This is the same Chiefs team we've seen sucking in the second half against the Bengals 3 times. This is the same Chiefs team we saw get beat by the abysmal Colts last season because they couldn't move the ball.
Right.
All last season, when the defense was getting blamed for losing games, it was literally this crappy offense stalling out and keeping them on the field the entire game.
Yeah.
And we saw it today. But guess what? The defense, they picked up their sacks, Mike, their huge balls. They put them in a wheelbarrow, and they kept it rolling, baby. They kept it rolling. They kept the Jaguars out of the end zone all freaking day. 4 red zone opportunities for the Jags. Nay. Get out. Our defense looks great, man, and that's the bright spot here. It sounds like we're being negative about a win.
No.
But we're not. It's just that there's so much that needs to get worked on. Got to get worked out on the offense. It's just ugly.
This team is so talented and so good. They should just wake up and piss excellence all day long. That's how good they are. And all we're saying is, what can we do to get them to this point? Everybody.
We can't do nothing.
Whine. It's not about it.
But what do we want them to do to get
this
there?
is what I'm saying about Mahomes. Mahomes didn't still today, in my opinion, have a great day. He didn't look that great against the Lions, and I don't think he was at his top today. And if you think he was at his top today, you're out of your mind. But
he
even when he's not.
He looked very similar in both games, Mike.
Right. And even without that, 29 for 41, 305 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception with a 98.1 QB rating. That is huge. But you want to know where he got the majority of those? Once you get Pacheco to run the ball in the second half. That's when it alleviated a little bit of pressure. But 12 carries for Pacheco, 1 for McKinnon for -2, 1 for Clyde Edwards-Helaire for 0. By the way, all the people that say Clyde Edwards-Helaire 1 carry, 0 yards, get him out of here. Oh, Jerick McKinnon was -2 yards. You're going to throw him out too? Like, if you don't give the guys opportunities, you're not going to be able to. I think Pacheco had 4 yards on his first carry. Then after that, he was pretty much stuffed for a few in a row.
I have a conspiracy.
What's the conspiracy?
I just thought of it. Andy Reid hates running the ball so much, he convinced Brett Veach to go out and sign Jawaan Taylor and Donovan Smith. So now he don't run the ball because he says they can't run block. So that's why they're not running the ball. So he gets to pass more.
Ooh, he gets the pass for the pass. He's getting a pass on the pass.
I think that's what happened, bro.
Okay, I'll say this. Look at the wide receiver stats. Sky Moore, he looked better today. 3 receptions, 70 yards. He had that 54-yard.
Beauty.
That almost looked like the same play last week, except for the fact Mahomes didn't overthrow him by half a mile. Justin Watson, he actually caught 3 balls. He caught that 34-yard bomb. So we take all those. But I tell you what, Justin Watson also fumbled on the day. He lost a fumble. Noah Gray, I thought, looked pretty good. Kadarius Toney got back in. Kadarius Toney looked okay. He had that 1 ball knocked out, but that was just a good defensive play. Travis Kelce, coming off an injury, he's getting up there. He's getting a little long in the tooth. Travis Kelce, by the way, I love the guy, the greatest ever, but it might be
greatest.
It might be time that we need to start finding somebody to start coming in and helping Kelce. If it's not going to be Noah Gray,
It's Noah Gray.
I
It's
think
Noah
it is
Gray.
too.
Did
But
you see it today?
Chiefs
I
Kingdom
saw
don't
it.
like it. They don't
I
think
don't
Noah
care.
Gray's it.
Hey, they don't like a lot of things, but they're wrong about a lot of things. Okay, I love you all, but good God, man. Some of y'all got to reevaluate your lives. But Noah Gray looked pretty good today with his opportunities. And I think the more that he gets involved with this offense, the better he's going to be. That's definitely going to be the guy that takes some heat off an aging Kelce. I think that's what you're going to see for the rest of Kelce's career.
It has to be.
As he declines a little bit each year because he's just getting older, and it's just going to happen. He's going to lose a step here, lose a step there. Noah Gray's going to be the one that fills the gap. Is he the long-term answer? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe they go out and draft somebody in the next couple of years. But right now, that's what they're trending towards, and I'm fine with it because Noah Gray looks pretty daggone good when he's out there.
Hey, you already know what we're going to get in the comments. You guys think Travis Kelce's no good? He's the best tight end ever. What are you talking about? He's lost a step? Of course, he was injured.
Even though I was just over here yelling like an idiot, the greatest.
Nobody hears that. They only hear what they want to hear. Do you remember? Back to the wide receiver stats, by the way. Richie Rice, he got 2 catches on the day. MVS, we already talked about him. 2 catches, 13 yards. Donovan Smith got logged for 1 reception. I don't even know how that was legal. How do you get logged for a reception and a target?
Yeah, like, do
when
you
it's not even a
actually get the
legal pass?
reception? You get the reception even though it wasn't.
ESPN did. The one that really disappoints the crap out of me, Richie James.
Richard.
0 receptions, 0 yards. He muffed a punt. I mean, come on. Richie James, everybody thought Richie James was going to come over and kind of be a spark plug. Maybe he could possibly step into a wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 role. He was killing it in the preseason. What in the hell happened to Richie James?
From now on, until Richie James shows up, he's now to be called Dickie James. Until then.
Tricky Dickie Richard. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't either. I thought he was going to be pretty good too, Mike.
Again, is he being utilized properly?
I still think he could be, but I don't think that they're really working these wide receivers in at all, to be honest. Like we've talked about with Sky Moore and Richie Rice, they're both guys that would be great if you could just create the ball, like do something to get them the ball in space. Let them work. Let them get yards after catch.
That little meme
That's what they do.
Where you poke them with a stick. Do something.
Yeah, do something.
Do something.
Look, you have to set them up for success. Like, think about what they did with Kadarius Toney today. You called it. You said Kadarius Toney's going to get the ball early and often today because of his crappy week last week.
Right. That's what Andy
And that's
does.
exactly what they did. So what did they do? They schemed in a bunch of plays to get the ball into Kadarius Toney's hands and let him work. Do that with Sky Moore. Do that with Richie Rice. Get these guys comfortable. Do it with Richie James. Whatever you got to do, we got to get these guys involved in the offense. We got to get them feeling comfortable, Mike. We got to find out what they're good at and what they suck at and really highlight their strengths.
Did you notice?
And I think we're not doing that right now.
Did you notice on the opposite end, Dougie P did that all day long with Christian Kirk?
Of course he did. That's why he had 11 receptions and went for, 100 and some yards?
Yeah, we just can't seem to find any rhythm. We can't get rhythm into our wide receivers. We can't get rhythm with the quarterback. Again, all of this, look at those groundbreaking wide receiver numbers we had today. I'm so happy that over the entire offseason, everyone told us we didn't need wide receiver 1. You can bring out the water boys. Bring out the guy on his 4th hot dog and his 7th Bud Light from the upper deck. Patrick Mahomes can make him into a Pro Bowler. Are we ever going to admit that we're wrong about that? Patrick Mahomes still needs players. This is still the NFL. As great as he is, he can't do it all by himself.
Patrick Mahomes can elevate he
can elevate.
Okay receiver. He can elevate an okay receiver and make them look decent. Like Justin Watson, for instance. Like, he made him look pretty, relevant today. He was throwing to him like crazy.
Right, that dude couldn't even get on the field with Brady.
Right, and if you go back a few years, like, he made Albert Wilson look good. He got him paid. He made Demarcus Robinson look good at times. Got him paid. He made Byron Pringle look good at times. Got him paid. But guess what? If you just put a bunch of Demarcus Robinsons, Byron Pringles, and Justin Watsons around him and leave out the Tyreek Hills and the Sammy Watkins, then you have problems.
Right.
You have to get one good receiver on there that's actually threatening that other team a little bit to where they have to game plan for them.
Oh.
Because right now, Mike, there's nobody besides Travis Kelce on our offense that there's any defensive coordinator that's like, hell, dude, we better pay attention to this guy because he's going to kill us if we don't. There's not that guy.
The pitchforks are flaring up He's got Kelce.
Get
That's
him
all he's
out,
ever
baby.
had. That's
Get
all
him
he's ever
out.
had. Get him out. Come on. When are we going to admit that Travis Kelce's 34? He's coming off of a knee injury right now. Off a previous career-long knee injury, by the way. It's natural that he's going to start just kind of slowing down a little bit. Can we get ahead of the curve rather than just getting ran over with it? Like, come on.
I mean, dude,
let's
he's
go.
putting a lot of – Kelce's also putting a lot of energy into things off the field, too. So, I mean, he's 34, yeah, but he's also out there, Mike. I mean, he's a celebrity. He's doing all kinds of things off the field.
He's playing a golf tournament.
It's taking some of his energy, taking a little bit of his energy. And you know what? Now he's supposedly with Taylor Swift. Now he's going to have a bad back before the season's over.
Dude.
Like, he's going to be out there just, it is what it is. We have to find a weapon for Mahomes in the form of a wide receiver. Travis Kelce's going to be Travis Kelce.
Right.
And like we've talked about him getting older and declining. But do I think he's declining right now? No. I still think Travis Kelce's Travis Kelce.
Right.
And he's going to be. But we have to get, the cash to his tango.
So, okay, before we jump to the defense, what's the most frustrating thing about our offense so far to you? Is it the lack
Bonnie
of wide receiver?
To his Clyde.
Would you quit? Is it the lack of the wide receiver? Or, like somebody coming up or maybe the scheming? Is it that or is it the offensive line? Which one of those two things is more troublesome right now and going forward that if they could fix that, we might see some light at the end of this tunnel because, again, we're going to talk about the defense in a minute. And the way this defense is playing, boy, it would be nice if the offense would just show up a little bit because we'd be routing teams.
No kidding, dude. Well, I'll tell you what, Mike, I think it kind of all plays in together. Here's the thing. I do think there's an issue with how they're utilizing the wide receivers we do have. They're not doing them any favors, okay? Like Sky Moore, Rasheed Rice, Richie James, all those guys, we have to scheme them into the game and see what we can do with them. We're not doing that. We're just, hey, run this route 85 times a game and we'll see what happens. That's what it feels like.
Right.
But we'll get to that. But I feel like if we just start with the first thing you said, the offensive line. If you can beef up the offensive line a little bit, get them playing together a little bit better, get them to jail a little bit, get these guys to learn what a run block means out on the tackles. Like Jawaan Taylor, Donovan Smith, we're sitting down, we're having class. This is a run block. This is what you're supposed to be doing. This is what you've been doing. Do not do that. Do this. And then make them perform. Okay, but anyway, if we could get the run blocking better, Mike, in all seriousness, and then Andy would actually utilize the run game a little bit early in the game instead of waiting until the second half, I think that opens things up for the rest of the offense. And we saw that happen in the second half of this game. I think it's pretty simple steps to follow here. Get the run blocking better, run the ball,
right?
Then everything else will open up, and Patrick Mahomes can quit forcing crap down the field, quit pressing, and let things come to him.
Right. So Andy Reid runs an offense a certain way. He likes his plays. He passes more than he runs. He runs his outside schemes, off tackle schemes and his this and that. That's what he does. Okay. Teams, Brett Veach, GMs, you're supposed to bring in players that fit this mode, fit what Andy wants to do. Did Brett Veach get a little too cute this year and not get any players that actually fit what Andy Reid wants to do in his offense? Like, does it feel like they said they bought into the fans? We don't need any wide receivers. We've got these guys. We got Justin Ross, wide receiver 1.
Right.
Justin Ross ain't even getting on the field, by the way. We don't need Orlando Brown. He lets up too many pressures. Well, the guy you brought in can't run block, and neither can the other guy you paid $80 million for.
And on top of that, the guy you brought in at left tackle gives up a lot of pressures and holds a lot.
Right. It's been astronomical, the amount of
don't know what
penalty yards
got until it's gone.
This guy stinks.
I would say we get demonetized, but that may have been so bad that the algorithm's not going to know what that was. It's not going to pick it up. They're going to be like, did this guy write a new song? I think so. Let's just go into the defense.
Let's talk about the defense because the defense was freaking awesome, bro.
The defense was phenomenal. They looked good against the Lions. And with Chris Jones back, Steve, they took it up a notch. Just like we said, Chris Jones is the best player in the NFL.
We said,
the NFL. I'm sorry. That was a little much.
We said. That's enough. Talk about some ball. We understand that you were right. Let's talk about ball.
The comments we get, man, these people are delusional and they're crazy. But by the way, Chris Jones, all the trade Chris Jones guys, you guys ought to just feel really stupid right about now. Come on.
Anyone who said that we should trade Chris Jones or Chris Jones didn't deserve this amount of money or Chris Jones is getting old and he don't have much time left, he's declining, he's not going to be good. You
just take your L.
Look, go to the mirror right now and look really deep into your own eyes to where you can almost see your soul, and then smack your slap-nut self in the face and call yourself an idiot.
Right. Just take your L.
Good God, bro.
Look, the first step to admitting you have a problem is just admit you're wrong every once in a while. It's okay to be wrong.
Start a class for these people, a 12-step program.
Right. It's okay to be wrong. And Chris Jones has just showed today.
They need Jesus.
He was the most dominant defensive player on the field. Either team, Chris Jones was the most dominant defensive player on the field.
Who would have ever thought that Chris Jones would wreck games? I don't know. Anyone's been watching for the last 2 years.
He's old, Steve. He's 29. Put that guy in a nursing home.
It's just a domino effect, too. Our whole defense played better because Chris Jones was on the field. Do you realize last week the defense did play good against the Lions? I will give them that.
Right.
They played good. They played not great, but good and good enough to win. And we lost because our offense was being dog crap. But, this week you saw some other things happening that weren't able to happen in the Lions game, like Felix getting home, George Karlaftis getting home twice.
Right.
We saw a lot of things happening. We saw better coverage. Linebacker play was improved, all because of one man.
Chris Jones. He was disrupting the pocket. He wasn't able to get out. He was running Anton Harrison right back into him. There was one play, him and Felix, I thought snapped him in half. I thought they had killed Kylo Ren right out there on the field.
If it wasn't for Felix being a good freaking person and realizing the situation and catching Lawrence and laying him to the ground, he would have got hurt bad.
They'd have snapped him like a pretzel.
If that was Patrick Mahomes with the Jacksonville Jaguars defense,
took the shot.
His back might have been broke.
Yep, they'd have took the shot. But look, we said it over and over again. Chris Jones is that guy. Chris Jones was that guy. Chris Jones was the MVP of the entire game today. We lose that game if Chris Jones wasn't there today, I think. In my opinion, we probably lost the game because our offense didn't do us any favors.
I still think our defense is good. Even without Chris Jones, like I said, they played good. And I think they would have played decent today. But it wouldn't have been good enough. Just like it wasn't good enough the first game. Any game that our defense holds a team to 14 freaking points or less is 110% a win. Unless...
And they said...
Our offense...
Hey, 14 points is what they said.
That's the bed.
14 points. They said, even with Chris Jones, it'll never get better. What? We just shut down one of the most high-power offenses in the game to 3 field goals. 9 freaking points. Come on. And one of these was a turnover by Richie James inside their own 20.
Do you realize that Chris Jones made L'Jarius Sneed look like he might actually be able to stop Calvin Ridley? Because God knows if there would have been more time, he would have got ate up. Because that's another guy I want to talk about, Mike. All the bright side of the defense.
Oh, my Lord.
Defense was spectacular. But L'Jarius Sneed, brother, you're in a contract year. You got to get paid next year.
I think he thinks we're still in the preseason.
We better not do it. Steve, if you play like this,
he
you're
still
gone,
thinks we're in the
son.
preseason, I think. Because he didn't do anything all preseason. He thinks these are preseason games. He ain't even trying. This guy's already has more missed tackles than he had all last year.
He looks like, obviously, he can't tackle somebody. He also doesn't realize that you're allowed to turn around and look at the ball when it's being thrown in your direction. L'Jarius Sneed is on the struggle bus, son. And he got very lucky today. That Calvin Ridley didn't eat his lunch. That's all there is to it. And I think you can thank Chris Jones for that.
Yeah, if Calvin Ridley stops 1 yard prior and he's not watching, so he's going to run him right out the back of the end zone, they'd have had that ball at the goal line. They'd have scored.
He made one good pass defense. Like, he made a great play.
He had one.
That's
did. Enough. Chiefs Kingdom's all over it.
That was it.
Him.
The rest of the day, he struggled. He didn't look good.
They don't
he
care.
looks lost at times. And, was it better than last week? Sadly, yes. But it wasn't good.
Dude, hey, it's nothing new. He gives up the most catches of any corner in all of football every year. He allows the most receptions thrown his way.
Yeah, he has no idea.
He
how to
allowed
stop
a perfect passer rating last week, didn't he?
Pretty much.
I'd love to see what it is this week because it can't
3
be
targets,
much further
3
down.
receptions. He stopped one of them.
Yeah, it can't.
I can't
be
wait
that
to get all the stats to this game. I can't wait to watch the all 22 and just get a good look at this because I think there's some things that we can figure out from this game. We noticed a lot of things in the Lions game, Mike, like hey, there are some receivers getting some separation, and maybe Patrick's making some bad decisions. His decision making's not good. Well, we saw that again in the first half of this game. Like, Patrick just looked like he was making bad decisions at times. Was he? Was he not? I don't know. We'll see. But I think this game's going to be very telling as well for our offense and our defense. Even though our defense was good, I still think they could be better. But hey, hats off to Steve Spagnuolo for having this defense ready to go this early in the season, because we're used to seeing his defenses kind of struggle the first half of the year and then start to gel together, and then look like a good They've started out hot, bro. And I hope they can continue to get better like they always do, because I'm telling you, man, if this offense could get right and our defense is playing the way our defense played today against Jacksonville, no one's beating this team. Nobody.
Hey, 100%. You know, like when you put the pizza rolls in the oven, you get them out and you just can't wait, and you put it in, you say, that's how hot that defense is right now. And it's only going to get better. But I'll tell you what,
of a freaking pizza roll.
Is the offense going to F around and find out what it's like to have a struggle bus defense? Are we going to eventually get the offense back and then the defense is going to kind of let up a little bit? This always seems to happen. Can we get these guys playing at the same time?
I think we're solid, bro. I think the offense has got to get it together. They do. Because there were times today where I was like, this offense is letting this defense down so bad that they're going to break finally and give up a touchdown here or there. We're going to lose a game, and this is going to be the defense's fault. Everyone, all of our fans that are so, high football IQ would be like, man, our defense sucked, man. They let up a touchdown. We lost.
Where's the Fire Spags crowd at?
They're still out there. They're still out there with a picture of Vic Fangio, a bottle of lotion, and some Kleenex sitting in their bed.
Yeah, they're also the same guys that were probably saying trade Chris Jones and we don't need a wide receiver one in the offseason.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys are really showing the football IQ. Keep it up, guys. Here's what I want to say. Here's the defensive stats. If you look down the list, the best tackle on the team today was Nick Bolton. What else is new? And then everybody's going to say, well, L'Jarius Sneed had 6 tackles and a tackle for loss.
Stop letting them catch the damn ball, and you won't have to tackle them.
Right. I don't think corners should be up there. Like, he's catching the ball. He's not hitting them. They did say he defended 2 passes. What are they watching?
2?
I only remember one.
I saw one. Maybe they considered that last one a defense
They may
pass.
have. The one in the back of the end zone, they may have considered that a pass defended.
Since, technically, he's the reason why he went out of bounds.
Right. Who do you think what do we think the weak link in the defensive chain is? I think that's a good question I want to ask you. Our defense looks good, but what's the weak link there? You can either do position or player. What do you think?
Well, considering I don't think there's much of a weak link there today, I thought the defense looked solid as hell. I would still have to go with L'Jarius Sneed. LJ's got to step it up, bro. I know he can play better than he's playing. I mean, like you said, he's always gave up a lot of passes. He's always missed some tackles here and there. But we do know L'Jarius Sneed's a good corner. I mean, that's all there is to it. I know he can play better. And I think if he gets a little bit better, because that's somebody we rely on. Every week, Mike, we put him on the wide receiver one of the other team.
Right.
We do that. We shadow him. And he's really got to step it up, man, because I'm afraid if he plays the way he's playing now, can you imagine when we get later into the season and we're playing Buffalo or the Bengals, or like, what in the world is Stephon Diggs and Jamar Chase going to do to this guy? Because right now it's looking grim.
Well, on the bright side, Trent McDuffie, the warden, has been playing lights out this season so far.
Oh, yeah.
He's looked good.
Jalen Watson looked good today.
Jalen Watson laid the wood on that wide receiver today.
That's
that was
what
one of
I
the best hits
see.
I've seen in a while.
I just want all the corners to have that mentality. I know Sneed can do it too. I've seen him make those hits. But Sneed, you have to tackle him, bro. You can't just fly in out of control. You have to make the tackle. That's the problem. But, man, we've seen McDuffie doing it. We've seen Jalen Watson do it today. I know Joshua Williams is capable of it as well.
Oh, yeah.
If you get Sneed to actually wrap up and make some tackles, we got some hard-hitting corners, bro, that can come in and lay it on somebody.
I agree. I think the weakest part of this defense right now, we thought it was going to be the defensive line. Naughty played pretty well today, I thought. Keandre Coburn being inactive was strange to me, but it's okay. Yeah, I think the safety play. I think Justin Reed still hasn't figured out how to be super consistent. And I like Brian Cook. He was
good today.
I like Brian Cook, but I told you this during the game. I said, Isn't it strange that Brian Cook's not really had that one or two big plays that are just flashy? Because you got the Jalen Watson, the pick 6 last year. And then you had the other Jalen Watson pick way late in the season. And then you had the Josh Williams pick on Joe Burrow where they tip it up.
And you got McDuffie out there killing
look,
it every game.
Brian Cook did tip that ball to Josh Williams, though. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
To Joe Burrow. But we've not really seen that big play. Like, I've not seen Brian Cook come down in the box and just lay somebody out. That's what he's known for. I've not seen him make an impeccable coverage, interception or anything. I'm waiting for Brian Cook to just finally, all this to click and him to come around, because I feel like him and Justin Reed might be the weak spot right now. I think it might just be the safety play. I could be completely wrong, but I feel like that's where it's in if I had to nitpick.
They haven't played bad, so it's kind of hard. Like, you can't – it's how you look at it. But right now, yes, they could definitely be improved. I think Justin Reed played pretty good today, but I think what you're trying to get to, Mike, is they're just not meeting your expectations.
Yeah.
Because, like, when you see Brian Cook and Justin Reed, what are they known for? Both of them are known for knocking someone's head off.
Yeah.
That's what they do. Heck, we seen Justin Reed almost kill Tyreek Hill on a football field back when he was playing for the Texans, and Tyreek was with the Chiefs.
Did Justin Reed have a big hit today? I feel like because we've only watched the game once, obviously.
Right.
Didn't he lay somebody out on the sideline, or am I thinking?
Justin Reed made some good plays today. Like I said, he played pretty good today. But my whole point is we got guys that are very physical on this team that can really hit and just, kind of inflict their will on the other team.
Right.
Another one, Leo Chenal. He plays the same type of way.
Yeah, I think it's him and Cook. I wanted
he had a good game today too.
Yeah, but I want to see those two get it together and just lay
that's what
come
I'm saying.
into their own.
Like, could you imagine, as good as our defense is playing right now, Mike, if they had the attitude of a Bernard Pollard or something like that, like enforcing their will on the other team?
Right.
You don't want to catch this ball because you're deathly afraid I'm going to knock your freaking head off.
Right.
Like, you don't want to come across the middle against me. Dude, if we could put a little bit of fear in the heart of some other teams, it could go a long way.
I want 11 enforcers. That's what I want. But man, overall it was a good win. Again, a lot of people's gonna be like, all y'all do is cry and complain. Y'all just rage the whole time. It's called being a fan, obsessing over the Chiefs, assessing what we saw, and how can we get better? What can we work on? Anybody that just wants to be stagnant, you're never going to get better.
We liked the win today. We love the win.
Love the win. Like to see it.
But we want to dominate.
I want to dominate.
League. We want the Chiefs to have no remorse and absolutely destroy everyone in their path.
I want them to crush the souls of every fan that we play against, every player we play against, every coach on the other team. I want them to annihilate them so bad that their ancestors feel it. That's what I want.
I want everyone that lines up.
A bad person, then so be it.
I want everyone that lines up against the Chiefs to go home that night and get held by their significant other and just cry themselves to sleep.
Cry.
Because they feel so insignificant and little in this world.
I want them to get down, to reassess their life so bad that they have to fall to their knees and beg the good Lord above for some clarity, because they don't know what's got them here. What decisions did it lead them that they had to play the Chiefs today and get crushed and spanked like a little baby? That's what I want to see.
That's what I want to see.
That's all I want to see. But with that, man, we're out of here. If you guys are listening on Spotify, if you're listening on Amazon, we appreciate you. Give us a big old 5-star review. Let everybody know where to hear the best damn Chiefs podcast that there is. And if you're watching...
Ever. The greatest.
And if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button and hit the sub button. Cheek, cheek. And that bell. We'll see you later. Go Chiefs.
There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight.